when I was talking about the why the subject matter of the Ayurvedic Prakash is entirely different, the presentation is entirely different from the connecting both Rasa-Shastra 𝐻𝐻𝑚. The theme coming in the mind or the inference is this, that there are something which is showing the change in the attitude of the society as well as the leaders of the society. And therefore they emphasize again into the Ayurvedic Prakash the alchemy, the conversion of the, or even the one in the mercurial preparation I can say, in which the Rasayana may be achieved. If you come to the same series, the book Rasa-Shastra here, and this book is a game changer. I can say that this is the game changer in the field of, if I had to ask a objective question, which book of the Rasashastra is a game changer, then certainly the credit goes to the Rasa-Shastra, because in its all 24 chapters, he has not followed any method of the classification established by the Rasendra Chudamani, established by the Rasa-Shastra 𝐻𝐻𝑚, or all other books regarding the Maharas, classification, Uparas, Sadharan Ras, Dhatu. No. The author of the Rasa-Shastra is describing everything in its own, and he has decided that which substance is more better for the human to take the care of the human health. And in that way, he explained every metal, every mineral, and the beauty of this book is that is the 𝐻𝐸𝐫 𝐅𝐚𝐿. You just prepare one bhasma and see there in the nutshell in this book, the Rasa-Shastra, namely all the pharmacological actions, and the next is the 𝐻𝐸𝐫 𝐅𝐸𝐫, where the author is explaining the same bhasma may be applied for the more than, it is not countable, but at least 30-40 diseases with the supplements or the adjuvants with the herbal formulations, herbal decoction, herbal powder, which are quoted here, and that is giving a particular concept that otherwise that it has been said somewhere that the activity of the herbal formulation or the therapeutic effect of the herbal formulation are enhanced, potentiated by when they are added to the any bhasma or any minerals, product of the any mineral bhasma. But in the other way, I would like to say here that it is not only they are just a catalyst. I may say that all these bhasmas of the mineralic origin or the metallic origin, they are having their own therapeutic efficacy, and if it is supplemented with the herbal powder, herbal decoction, or I can say the herbal formulation, then the effect is there synergistic, catalyzing each other. It is not that these mineral and the metallic bhasma are just catalysts having no therapeutic efficacy. This concept is not acceptable to us on the basis of our experiences and the many more things. So here we can say the contribution of the Rasa-Shastra is simply that he played all the rules of the game, which were earlier in the books of the Rasas. He described it in his own way and emphasized much about the therapeutic efficacy. I would like to summarize it here, a journey in a table, which may be in this way, that if just for understanding purpose, if the serial number, this is the name of book, and it is the period and here it is if the imaginary, but something authentic, percentage of the alchemy descriptions, that is the dhatuvad, and here if it is the therapeutic descriptions, then one can understand how this history of the rasas in the past 100 or 1,500 years, 1,500 years carried out or the travel. If it is the one, and if it is the Rasendra-Mangal, and if it is the period is the 5th AD, then if you see the alchemy, including the Rasaranam and even the Rasa-Shastra, the alchemical preparations are 100%. Even the name of the chapter is on the basis of these processes, that is the Rasa-Shastra. And if you see the therapeutic descriptions here, one can say in the broader way, it is 0%. It is not exactly 0%, but it is less than 10%. Just for the understanding, we are saying here that the 100% and the 0%. But if we come to the next period, and just I am skipping the 300 year, and I am coming here up to the 9th, and the baseline on which the comparison is going on is here. I should be precise it, the description of the Ashtadha-Sanskar, the baseline on the basis of which when we are preparing this table, the descriptions of the Ashtadha-Sanskar for the Parad, by which the objectives of the Dhatuvad or the Lokavad is being carried out. For the benefit of the viewer, it has been described in our books that just 8 sanskar, Ashta-Sanskar is sufficient, Ashta-Sanskar of the Parad is sufficient to achieve all the best therapeutic effects of the mercurial preparations. But if one has to prepare the alchemical products up to that is the transformation of the lower metal to the higher metal, then this Ashtadha Sanskar is required. So if you see the Rasa-Shastra, Rasaranam, this Ashtadha Sanskar has been described here 100%, and the therapeutic chapters, yes, the therapeutic chapters by the name of the Jwar, Kamla, Vakyadi, or any other Rasayan, Vajikaran, it is not here, scattered formulations. If you come to the Ras-Prakash Sudhakar, and this period is around 10th AD, then the alchemy is little bit less, it's not 100%. The chapters names are different, and here, if you come to the 70%, then it is 30%. In the 8th chapter, the 100 formulation dealing with the one full chapter is very much described in this book, Ras-Prakash Sudhakar. One more book, just here I am jumping 300 years. I am leaving the 𝐶𝐸 and coming to the Ras-Ratna Samujjaya. And if you see here all the description and the period is the 13th, then it is 30% and 17%. Here the first 11 chapters are only dealing with the purpose of the Ashtadha Sanskar and descriptions, but very less in comparison of the Rasa-Shastra and the Rasaranam. This Ashtadha Sanskar has been addressed into the Rasa-Samujjaya. And 19th chapter on the basis of even the nomenclature of the chapters is also on the names of the different diseases, and here majority is therapeutic effects. Once again, if you come to the coming to the Ras-Karanani, and if it is I have jumped 700 years, the 20th AD. Just I described that meanwhile there are many books which are dealing with the mostly with the therapeutic purposes in this period, including the Ayurvedic class, which is a little bit having different attire, but the mostly things are coming in this order. Descriptions of the Ashtadha Sanskar is reducing, and the therapeutic material is enhancing in the all with the development of the therapeutic properties of these mineral and the metals in combination of the organic material, specifically the herbs. Some animal products are also used here, and if you see the methods of the Sodhan and the Maran, here in these books it is less. But if you come to the Rasshastra, one metal or the one mineral have at least 10 methods of the Sodhan, 10 methods of the Maran, which are not here in the previous books. It clearly indicates that the methods of the Sodhan and the Maran have been discovered, innovated continuously, having the different therapeutic purposes, and therefore this Rasshastra in this period, the name of the 𝘶𝑎𝑑𝑎 is only quoted. No description of the 𝘶𝑎𝑑𝑎 is here in this book. So symbolically, we can say it is the 0% alchemy, and it is with the 𝐴𝐴𝑚𝐴𝑦𝑢𝐜 prayog 100% therapeutic efficacy. So if you see this journey from 100% here to 100% here, from 0% here to 0% here, it took 1500 years. And what is going on the recent? The recent is this, what I explained, the prohibitory period. Nowadays, the mercury element is on the agenda of the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency of the USA, due to its environmental pollutants suffering a very serious impact on the human health all across globe. The mines of Africa or the Latin America, emissions with the coal, its mercury applications in the pesticides, into the cosmetics, as a chemical, in the making of the different kinds of the plastics, many more. And the 𝑉ARANASI Convention, which attract the 𝑉ARANASI event and then further the 𝑉ARANASI Convention after 50 years, is attracting the attention of the whole world that this world should be mercury free. So nowadays also, as the government of India is signatory, that they will follow the 𝑉ARANASI Convention. The 𝑉ARANASI Convention is just saying that remove the applications of the mercury in a very, very phase-wise up to the 2025. Here, recently on the 28th September, the meeting was organized by the UNDP, United Nations Development Program, CSIR, NERI, the Ministry of Environment and the Forestry of the Government of India, which is the nodal agency for the implementation of the 𝑉ARANASI Conventions. And there was a meeting where people were emphasizing, and they were agreed upon. The professors of the IITs were there, and where the IIT Madras is the nodal IIT to take all the studies, Professor Surendra Mohan namely. They were talking and convincing on the industry representatives and giving them alternate methods where they can replace the applications of the mercury. Even the medical devices, the thermometer, speedometer, they are saying that you can come to the electrical and the electronics devices, removing the mercury at all. But there, as a student of Rasa, I represented and I convinced them in the Rasas, or in the particularity and in the totality, Ayurveda, mercury has no replacement. And we have developed here some methods where some method means this 1500 journey, specifically the beginning 500 year and the 700 year, where the processes of the Sodhan, Janan, Maran, Bhavana, Sanskar has been developed by Indian Acharyas with the full vision and the wisdom. And they suggested all the methods how one can prevent himself with the exposure of the mercury when doing any pharmaceutical processes to prepare mercurial medicines. So on the virtue of that, we have published many papers in the last 20 years because we are under scan, and there was a project from the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Prime Minister of India in 2008 under the name A Science Initiative in Ayurveda. Professor M.S. Vaidyanathan, who is a National Research Professor, give this project to the Ayurveda Shakha, where they are preparing the Sindhu and all its structure has been defined by the IIT Bhubaneswar, by the BAR, the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, with the kind of, I can say, with the very enthusiasm way of the working of the Balendra Prakash, where he worked out with the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, all this structure of the 𝐷𝑗𝑗 and many more. I can say here, we are getting good publications from the Banaras University, the Department of Geology, specifically the Center of Excellence there. And Mr. Subhas Lakhotia is publishing many papers on the 𝘉𝑠𝑖𝑛𝑑𝑢, and 𝘉𝑠𝑖𝑛𝑑𝑢 basically he is working on the Amlaki Rasayan also, but here our objective is on the 𝘉𝑠𝑖𝑛𝑑𝑢, and he has some good publications like the Annals of the Neurosciences about the good therapeutic efficacy of the 𝘉𝑠𝑖𝑛𝑑𝑢, and this department of Rasshastra, where this video is being made under this project, we are continuously working on the same direction, not the Banaras University, but I can say with a good amount of share in the contribution of the knowledge by Institute of Postgraduate Teaching and Research, the Jamnagar School and the Department of Rasshastra is there continuously publishing, and we are and some other centers of the country about the therapeutic efficacy and all the quality control measures, the safety studies of the mercurial preparation. But the last note of this series, that is the series number 2 about the history, I would like to conclude that with the guidance of the many stalwarts of the Rasshastra, which includes the Professor S.S. Savarkar in the leadership of him, who is the former Vice Chancellor of the Gujarat Ayurvedic University and former advisor to the Ministry of Ayush, and now advisor to the ministers of Ayush in Maharashtra and as well as to the Government of India. He just guiding me to take this issue in a 3 different ways. First is to make a furnace which trap mercury in the making of the 𝑘𝑢𝑝𝑖 Rasayan as well as the 𝑉𝐨𝑒𝑢𝑗. We have discussed just all these things the last evening, the late last evening I can say, and where he said that the mercury emission is less in the 𝑘𝑢𝑝𝑖 Rasayan, but it is more when we are preparing 𝐵𝑆𝑚 by the adding the mercurial compounds, the 𝑘𝐻𝑚𝐴 or even the 𝐾𝐻𝐴𝑑𝑦 or the purpurity somewhere, in which we are having a good claim that final product of the 𝐵𝑆𝑚 is not showing any presence of the mercurial compound. Then the $1 million question is here, where that mercury has gone, which has been added there before the process of the maran, in the process of I can say the bhavna. And if after that mercury is not there in the final products, where that mercury has gone. It's simple as that mercury has gone after doing its all objective, that is the disintegration or the catalyzation of the making of the disintegration of that mineral, and finally the catalyzation of the making of the compound. It is in the atmosphere. Anything in the atmosphere is mercury vapor that is harmful to the human health. And as it is said, air has no boundary. Air of any country can move to any country in the due course of the time. So here we are trying, in the making of the 𝐵𝑆𝑚, an instrument is being developed by some centers that will trap the mercury in the making of the 𝐵𝑆𝑚, not only the 𝑘𝑢𝑝𝑖 Rasayan. The second point is very much important, because this knowledge of the history must be connected to what is going on today. So today we are saying that the international laws are indicating that if anything is in the market, for even in the Europe, for more than 30 years, then it is free from the market, means it's in the huge. The doctors, the physicians, the healthcare providers are prescribing, administering or any medicine or any substance to the normal public since more than 30 years, and the safety toxicity is reported in a good sense, then it is exempted from many laws of the land regarding the drug. So this is true about our mercurial medicines also, because other than the I can say in a different words that forget about America, Europe, Australia or any other country. In India, this mercurial medicines are being used since thousands of years. And if you talk about the rules and the regulations, then certainly the Schedule Y, which is talking about the different toxicity methods should be adopted before launching on anything into the market. The Schedule Y directives of the toxicity safety profile, or in other words, toxicity study. Here, a huge benefit of the law we are at least should make that at least when in the 1964 the Ayurveda medicines being the part of the Drug and Cosmetic Act, and this is the 1964, today is the 2019. Well, if you see in the major figure, it is more than 30 years, which is the requirement of the law. If anything, just I am reducing it to the language of the law. Law needs a particular definition. We are using it since 1000 years, no doubt about it. But the law of the country, that is the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, Drug and Cosmetic Rule 1945, is dealing with the Ayurvedic medicine since 1964. If any company or any institution or any Vaidya preparing these medicines 1964 and onward, and it is in the market, certainly now we are having with the mercurial products more better earlier than the 1964, Vagna earlier than the 1964, this Dhoop Corporation earlier than the 1964. So all these companies are having some data of the preparation, market distribution in the market, and that is the prescription by the Ayurvedic physician. So if we are in the practice, means the subsidies are in the practice since last than 30 years. So why the nowadays all the schools of the Department of Rasshastra are emphasizing go for the physical characterization, chemical characterizations of the Bhasma? No. Now we have to shift along with this physical chemical characterization, which is the need of the standardization quality control, directly as per the law of the country to the phase 3rd clinical studies of all these Rasa-Shastra. And if 1,000 patient data, the person data of the applications of this Rasa-Shastra at the multi-center, law is saying at the only 4, but if you are doing it at least the 10 centers, and we have a good data of the clinical study of the phase 3rd as per the law, and if we all from the India, in the guidance of the Ministry of Ayush or in the collaboration of the CCRS, the highest research body of our country, and we will submit to the UNDP our 1,000% data with the Rasa-Shastra, certainly the mercury will be available in this country, the power will be available in this country beyond 2025 in the service of humanity. So this huge task should be taken by every school of the Ayurveda, comprising the Department of 𝐻𝐿, Department of 𝐶𝐿, Department of Prasuti, Department of even the 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝑚, and of course the Department of Rasshastra. And the phase 3 clinical studies are just required for our existence, and that data may be submitted to the UNDP, and in this course the APA and all other agencies which are there for the renewal of the mercury, the phase-wise renewal of the mercury up to the 2025, that may be completed. For all other uses of the mercury, that is in the cosmetics, in the pesticide, or the emissions in the coal industry, or any other way, or the gold extraction, or the zinc, or the copper, whatsoever the applications, they all should be removed because there is some alternative method to do all those processes. But in Ayurveda, Para and the Rasa-Shastra has no alternative. We have to depend on the Para and the applications of the mercury. So we should be allowed by all international agencies for the use of the mercury for preparing the Rasa-Shastra, which are boon for the human health. And we hope that if we will be there with the clinical data of the phase 3, then certainly the UNDP and other agencies will provide us the leisure or the relaxation to use mercury for the preparations of the Ayurvedic medicine. Now come to the beginning area. Yes, the 3,000-year-old or the 5,000-year Charak Samhita is based on herbal formulations. Meanwhile, in the 10th, 11th AD, the Rasa-Shastras were added there. Now, in this period of the 1,000 years, Rasa-Shastras are in the way to be out, but now the scenario has been changed. My humble submission is that why Ayurvedists added this Rasa-Shastras in their main treatment. In the 10th century, there was no problem of the deforestation. All the good 𝘉𝑢𝑗𝑠 are available in the all dense forest area. All that population was very less, it was not huge as today. But having everything favorable to the herbal material Vedica, Ayurvedic population based on the herbs were there. What was the reason why they compelled to adopt Rasa-Shastras in their mainstream? And that was that the reason was the quick action, wider therapeutic applicability, and the small dose. And due to this reason, they adapted it. The same reason exists today. If mercurial preparation or the metallic preparation, mineralic preparations would be made out from the Ayurvedic drug domain, certainly there will be huge loss for the humanity, because these processes, I'm not talking about the discipline, I'm talking about the humanity, because these medicines are giving a good life to the human in all its processes, the mortality, the power, and the long life, as symbolically Lord Shiva represents all the Rasa-Shastras, and the temples of the Lord Shiva has nowadays even every age, that is the snake, 𝑉𝐸𝑢𝑒𝑚, and the 𝐾𝐿. I conclude here this second series about the history of the rasas, that Rasa-Shastras are boon for the humanity and the backbone for the Ayurveda practice. It should remain in the practice as it is. Thank you. Thank you.